The latest URA Master Plan draft has been announced and it will introduce at least 80,000 new homes across more than 10 neighborhoods in the next 10 to 15 years. Let's discuss some of the focus areas. The first one is the Newton, Monks Hill, and Scott Road cluster. This is one of the best clusters in the draft plan because it is really in prime location. If we look at the Google map, basically it is the empty plot next to Newton MRT station plus this empty plot at Monks Hill Terrace. It is within walking distance to the MRT station and not just some random ulu-ulu station. It's Newton MRT station, which means you are one stop away from Orchard Station and only 5 stops away from the CBD area. This combined area can host about 5,000 new homes in a mixed-use precinct and is projected to be an urban village. Unfortunately, it seems that it will be just condos and no BTO will be included in the cluster, but even if it's only for condos, I think it still will draw a crowd. It is rare to see this scale of redevelopment in a mature core central region. I believe the price will still be very high because it's not every day that the government releases a site in District 11. The drawback for this site other than its premium price would be the traffic. This area is near a very busy road and traffic jams are not unusual. Okay. Next, we have the Patterson Cluster, which is literally next to the Orchard MRT station. This is another blockbuster. Although the plot looks big on this Google map, but actually it is smaller than the Newton cluster I mentioned earlier. This site can only hold about 1,000 homes and the mixed-use development will be built on top of the Orchard MRT station. From what we know, the project will be high-rise buildings consisting of residences, retail, F&B, and office space. Without a doubt, this area is very famous globally. It's Orchard Road. I expect the price to be super high and targeted for the ultra-rich. If we read between the lines, by including this site into the URA Master Plan, I suspect that the government will eventually lower down the foreigners' ABSD within the next 10 to 15 years. When this video is made, the ABSD for foreigners is still 60%, which basically deters many foreigners from buying a property in Singapore. But then, foreigners are the typical buyer segment for ultra-premium properties like this. So, I think this signals that one day, the ABSD rate for foreigners will eventually go down. So, it's not a question of if, but when. Next, we have the Dover Medway cluster, which is located between the One North and Kentridge MRT station. If we see on the Google map, it's basically this plot here, and it is even bigger than this open area because eventually, SIT and UWC will move out. So as you can see, this plot is humongous. It is estimated that this cluster can host about 6,000 homes and it will be a mix between HDB and condos. This area is home to leading technology, media, and biomedical firms as well as institutes of higher learning. Even though this plot is located in One North, where previously no one bid for a government land sales around here, check out my other video discussing about that, but this plot is different. This one is near 2 MRT stations and it is also relatively close to NUH but not too close, which is good because it provides healthcare facilities and also improves your chances if you want to rent out rooms here. So all in all, I believe the projects here will be in high demand. And I suspect that the BTO projects here will have more amenities such as eating house, supermarket, preschool, etc. to make this cluster more suitable for families. I wonder though whether the government will also open a new primary school in the area because schooling options for younger kids here is kind of limited. Okay. Now let's move on to the next site, which is the Mediapolis cluster. This is another One North area expansion near Wessex Estate, which is home to a rare cluster of colonial era black and white bungalows and the greenery of the rail corridor. With around 5,000 new private homes planned, this enclave is set to attract significant investor interest, particularly from landlords. Its close proximity to major institutions and employers such as media startups, biomedical firms, and research campuses makes it highly appealing for those targeting expatriates and also professionals. While One North offers unique living proposition that might draw some homeowners, we believe it's not yet a primary consideration for most owner-occupiers. Next, we have the former Turf Club site near Kranji. This is a giant land plot because it will host around 14,000 homes. It will be mixed between HDB and condos. But although the site is near Kranji MRT station, but it is a non-mature town and far from the CBD area, So I anticipated low demand for the projects here. There are other areas that were previously announced by the government in the master plan, but I haven't had the chance to cover it in this channel, so let me go through some of them quickly. So the next one is Pearls Hill, a location previously earmarked for development, which is central to the ongoing initiative to introduce more housing options in Singapore city center. Nestled beside Chinatown and Outram, it stands out as an exceptionally rare core central region enclave still boasting available elevated land. While it may not possess the overt glamour of areas such as Newton or Orchard, Pearls Hill could be very well become a hidden gem for owner-occupiers. This is especially true for those who appreciate the charm of Chinatown or simply prefer a more tranquil, elevated living environment. Its appeal is set to grow significantly, particularly as the greater southern waterfront development gains momentum nearby. Pearls Hill is also slated to receive its first new HDB blocks in approximately 40 years. Although a precise commencement date hasn't been announced, it is expected that this will be rolled out in the next decade. Next, we have Marina South. So Marina South has long been a part of the URA's plan, and its continued inclusion on the roadmap confirms the vision: a vibrant live, work, play waterfront enclave. This area is envisioned to feature high-density housing, ample leisure spaces, and seamless integration with iconic landmarks such as Marina Barrage, Gardens by the Bay, and the Central Business District. However, progress in Marina South has been kind of slow. A significant government land sale in the area yielded disappointing results, reflecting a current lack of essential amenities. The surrounding area still needs the everyday ecosystem of schools, supermarkets, and a lived-in vibrancy that homeowners typically seek. In its current state, Marina South feels more like a scenic destination built for tourism and social media rather than a practical place for everyday living. Until the initial developments establish a clear identity and more anchor amenities such as transport nodes, schools, and comprehensive malls, Marina South will likely remain a long-term target for homeowners rather than an immediate draw. Last but not least, we have the former Bukit Timah racecourse. This site is set for a major transformation featuring both public and private housing. This redevelopment will notably include the first new HDB flats in Bukit Timah in nearly 40 years. The plans also emphasize preserving some of the area's conserved colonial structures and seamlessly integrating existing forested areas into the new layout. With future access to the Cross Island Line via the Turf City MRT station, this represents one of the rare remaining central brownfield opportunities. But do remember that some of these URA master plan are still in draft, so it could still change based on feedback, and the execution will also be staggered maybe across 10 to 15 years or even more. However, overall, I'm still pretty excited that there will be more housing options in good areas. Which plot excites you the most? Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!